Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story where OP, having recently bought a new home through hard work and determination, faces family conflict when a sibling and their spouse expect financial assistance. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Refused to help my brother or his family. I, 24-year-old female, have recently bought my own home. Mom insisted I invite my brother, 40-year-old male, and his family over to celebrate. For background, my brother hasn't amounted to anything in his life despite my parents supporting him through their financial highs and abysmal lows. I remember when he found out he wouldn't be getting any inheritance from my parents, and the rest would be divided up between my nephew from his first marriage and myself because, according to my parents, we've both done something with our lives, while his bad decisions have left him in a rent trap and a massive amount of unnecessary debt. I want to also mention that for a long time, my parents barely managed to keep a roof over our heads and asked that my brother help make ends meet, which he later admitted he only did because he thought it wouldn't be worth it when they die and he inherits the place. Fast forward to last night, and I'm showing them around. It's a big place and a little fancy, I'll admit, but I know I deserve the life I have now because throughout my teenage years, I had to give up my scholarship money to help pay off his debts, my free time and study time to look after his son, and I even had to drop out of high school because I was skipping class to work. That's how bad things were. But I went to a trade school and got 3 diplomas in engineering and programming before finishing my degree 2 years ago, all while juggling a full-time job so I could have experience on my resume when I graduated. After dinner, my brother found me on the balcony and I had to pretend I wasn't hiding from him. He started asking about what my plan was now that I had a house and very little of the mortgage left to pay off. I was honest and said I was probably going to work abroad, travel, and save for retirement. He asked me where all it goes when I die, and I said it would all go to my children. He got angry and asked why not him and his family, to which I told him that I had no interest in leaving anything for his family because he has no interest in me and our parents aside from what he can get from us. His wife came in screaming, calling me selfish for not helping my brother and my very own niece, to which I replied, I'm going to tell you the same thing you'll hear from your landlord when you no doubt fail to make rent for the 3rd month in a row. Get out of my house. Mom heard this and yelled at me before saying we both ruined what was supposed to be a lovely night. His wife said my elitism and selfishness ruined the night and not them for asking a little help since I clearly could, or at least pay for their daughter to go to a private school and secure her future. She's 3. After they left, Mom said I should at least consider helping and that he can't help the situation he's in. I told her that if she really doesn't see why that's a bad idea, then she should leave as well. And now neither of my parents are answering my calls. Edit. There's been a lot of confusion in regards to my qualifications, my scholarship, and my timeline. A diploma in my country is a year-long qualification that's maybe 2 tiers below an actual bachelor's degree, hence why I said trade school. So I have 3 trade diplomas that I completed in 3 years, age 18 and 19. My college debt isn't treated the same as the rest of the world. Students have the option to pay up front or take 0% interest government loans that you repay via tax, and only if you're earning over a certain threshold. It didn't affect my credit score. My state government also offered first-to-home buyers grants for people under a certain age to help young people afford their first homes. Let me be clear. The work I'm currently in is experiencing a huge shortage of skilled professionals, and the jobs that pay the most for people with limited experience in my country tend to be FIFO or fly-in, fly-out jobs, where you have to fly out to a mine site in the middle of nowhere for sometimes up to weeks on end, and maybe 1 week back home. It's hot, the weather conditions are usually extreme, and it's lonely, hence why not many people can do it for too long. I want to clarify that I'm doing my master's part-time so I can work abroad instead of being limited to doing specialist work in the desert, or at least find a job in my city that pays just as well. And to the people asking why would I buy a house if I plan on living abroad, why not? If I can afford it, why not? What if I want to move back? What if I want my own place to visit during holidays when I'm homesick? Whoa, what a tangled web of family drama. Let's unpack this because, honestly, you handled yourself like a boss. You've worked your butt off to claw your way out of a tough situation, sacrificing your time, money, and education to help family when they needed it most. And now your brother and his wife think they're entitled to your success? The audacity. You're not responsible for their poor choices. You've already given far more than most would, and it's okay to prioritize your own happiness and stability. If they can't respect that, their silence might just be the peace you need. Keep standing your ground. You've earned it. And our second story. Trash collector wants to use my yard to store their goodies. My husband and I have been cleaning up our yard and setting things out on the side of the road. Next week is our town's big trash week, so everyone in our neighborhood has been setting stuff out. It isn't just our house that has unwanted clutter on the side of the road. Now, while my husband and I were outside, a person from around our place, but not our neighborhood, was walking their dog around the block. We kind of live in the woods, so our little neighborhood attracts a lot of people from around our place that can't take a walk anywhere else. Lack of safe spaces to walk that isn't directly in the forest. As she sees my husband and I, she starts a conversation with us about the renovations we recently did on our front yard. All's going well when she notices a small iron and wood bench we had set out for the city to pick up. She asks us if we're giving it away, and I say yes, and that we're also going to put out a larger one that she could take if she wanted. Giddily, she grabs the small bench and puts it back in our driveway. She says she'll be back soon to come pick it up with her friend in the next 2 days. I'm already a little irked because trash from the side of the road is usually a first-come, first-served type of situation. I put it there because I don't want it in my yard. My husband and I figure it'll be fine. Anyways, the pickup isn't until next week. Well, this lady comes back with her friend the same evening to pick up the smaller bench and has my husband help her bring out our other bench into our driveway. Uh-oh, it doesn't fit into her car, so she leaves it once again in our driveway. I'm inside while this is happening, so I don't really know what's going on. Next thing my husband knows, she goes to our front door neighbors and grabs 5 outdoor dining chairs and puts them in our yard, and she says she'll be back next week to pick them up. And off she goes. My husband is very conflict averse, so he didn't say anything and just went back to mowing the lawn. When I noticed, I got upset. I'm 37 weeks pregnant and very into nesting and getting stuff done. I worked all week to clean my yard, and this lady feels like she can just use our yard without asking to hoard her trash treasure? Nah. I grabbed all of the trash, including our bench, and put everything back by the road, and I put my neighbor's trash back where it was. I was just so shocked by how comfortable she was to start storing stuff in our driveway without even asking. We aren't even neighbors. Part of me hopes someone else comes and picks everything up. Oh my goodness. Talk about audacity overload. This lady didn't just cross a boundary, she sprinted past it like she was in a marathon. Offering to take something off your hands is one thing, but turning your driveway into her personal storage unit without even asking? Nope, absolutely not. You handled that perfectly. Putting everything back on the curb was the right move. It's your yard, not a community holding zone for random scavengers. The fact she even dragged your neighbor's stuff onto your space just takes the entitlement to a whole new level. Hopefully the trash pickers beat her to the punch because she's clearly missing the whole big trash etiquette memo. And our last story. Karen towed my car. I live in a large corporate apartment building with a gated parking garage. This morning I woke up and discovered that my car was gone. Since the garage is secured behind a gate, I figured it had been towed rather than stolen. I checked around and noticed other cars were still there, so I decided to call the towing company whose number's posted on the garage wall. When I called them, they confirmed they had my car. They said it was towed because I didn't have a valid parking permit displayed. I was confused because my building uses parking stickers and mine was clearly visible on the dashboard. They told me it had cost $370 in cash to release my car. I explained that I had the required parking sticker, but they put me on hold. After a few minutes, they came back and claimed they had spoken to my building's manager, Karen, who told them the stickers were no longer valid and that residents now needed to display placards instead. This didn't make sense to me. It was 6:50 a.m. The management office wasn't open yet, and when I looked around the parking lot, everyone still had the same stickers on their cars. I began to suspect foul play. Someone must have opened the gate for the tow truck since they couldn't have accessed the garage otherwise. I remembered having a conflict with a board member named Karen regarding her illegal parking habits. She fits the Karen stereotype perfectly and seems to hold a grudge. Needing my car to get to work, I decided to confront the towing company in person. When I arrived, they insisted on the $370 cash fee. Frustrated, I told them I wasn't going to pay for an illegal towing. My parking sticker doesn't have an expiration date, and I hadn't been notified of any changes. They refused to release my car without payment. I returned home and waited for the building staff to arrive. As soon as the office opened, I went straight to the property manager. "Good morning," I began. "My car was towed last night, and the towing company said it's because our parking stickers are no longer valid, and we need placards. They claimed they spoke with someone named Karen who authorized the tow." The property manager looked puzzled. "We haven't changed our parking permits, and we definitely haven't issued any placards," she said. "And Karen doesn't have the authority to make those decisions." "That's what I thought," I replied, "but in the meantime, my car's impounded and they want $370 cash to release it." She shook her head. "I'm so sorry about this. Let me make some calls and sort this out immediately." She called the towing company and firmly explained that no changes had been made to the parking permits and that Karen had no authority to authorize any towing. After a tense conversation, property manager agreed to reimburse towing of my car. "Thank you so much," I told the property manager. "I really appreciate your help." "I apologize for the inconvenience," she said. "We'll be having a serious discussion with Karen about overstepping her boundaries." Update. Later that day, I retrieved my car from the towing company without paying a dime. A few days after the incident, the building management held a meeting for all residents. The property manager addressed what had happened and assured everyone that there had been no changes to the parking permits. "We want to apologize for any confusion or inconvenience," she said. "Going forward, all official communications will come directly from the management office. No board members authorized to make unilateral decisions regarding towing or parking policies." I also heard through the grapevine that Karen was removed from her position on the board due to her misuse of authority. It turns out she had a history of causing issues for other residents as well. Wow. Talk about a Karen living up to her name. From illegal towing schemes to outright lies, this was a master class in audacity. The fact that she used her position to orchestrate a bogus tow, inconveniencing you and likely others, is infuriating. But the way you handled it, with persistence, logic, and the right allies, was textbook perfection. Kudos to the property manager for stepping up and immediately addressing the issue. That meeting was a solid move, reassuring everyone that rogue board members won't be dictating policies. And hearing Karen got the boot from the board, that's the satisfying justice we all root for. Good riddance to her power-tripping antics. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.